Guys, you don't need to choose between price and quality to get an amazing and affordable shave. DollarShaveClub.com is the answer. To prove how amazing their shave really is, right now they are going to give you your first month free to join the club. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors right to Tim Gettys' door for a third of the price of what the greedy razor corporations charge. Join the club like Tim did and stop dealing with the drugstore hassle and battle of the locked-up razor fortress ever again. See why over 3 million members like Tim Gettys, that's right, the pure one himself, love Dollar Shave Club. They're so confident in the quality of all their products. Now you can get your first month of the club for free. Just pay shipping. After that, it's just a few bucks a month. No long-term commitment. No hidden fees. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Greggy. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Greggy and shave your face. I made that up. That's not their tagline, but I think they should use it. But I guess you could shave any... Hold on. And shave whatever. Colin, what's your topic?
I want to talk about brand loyalty. I was thinking about this, and I want to talk about it in a deeper sense than what we might be thinking. For instance, the four of us, and I don't know if you feel the same way. We're all huge Apple fans, right? You don't use you're an Android person.
Yes.
Okay, so you're more like Kevin. So the four of us are big Apple users. We like we cut our videos on Premiere.
Premiere's not Apple.
No, I'm saying we cut our. It's Adobe. I'm saying we have some sort of brand loyalty to a specific product.
Yeah, to Adobe.
We like to go to the movies at Alamo Drafthouse. I'm thinking about more like the minutia. The reason that this came up was I really like Italian dressing. Right, I use Italian dressing.
Fuck yeah, you do. Hell yeah, big C man.
But I like Wishbone Italian dressing.
Fuck yeah.
And 10 out of 10 times, 100 out of 100 times, I'll buy Wishbone dressing. And if it's not there, I just won't eat Italian dressing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like what you guys, like what your not, Jesus God Almighty, what your not so standard kind of brand loyalties are, and I want to see how deep and weird we can get with this in terms of like, well, how deep down the rabbit hole can we get with like the things that you like, where you'll only buy something from a specific brand, or you have a loyalty to another brand. That's not maybe like Greg and I with Sony. Like we know,
sure,
but
we'll play other things. But we're preferred there for sure. Nick,
yeah.
When we do a GameOverGreggy show on November 1st, what's the only brand we wear?
Filthy casual.
God damn it.
No, this is a great topic, and it's funny to think about what brands you are loyal to and stuff, right? I mean, for me, and this actually stems a little bit from our conversation in the first topic about like Catholic school and stuff, right? I'm extremely unwaveringly loyal to Converse All-Star, right? The Converse brand or whatever. Converse high tops, black in particular, with now I'm trying out the new 2 version 1, but it's still Converse, whatever, right? And it was that thing of going to Catholic school for so long, I always felt that boot on my neck of not being able to express myself and having to wear the, I'd be like, you're sent home from school for your hair. I'd be sent home from dress up days for wearing new Converse kicks or whatever, for wearing a brand new, perfectly mint, nothing's wrong with them. And when I got out, that was my thing, my stance of like, fuck this, I'm wearing Converse the rest of my life and no one will ever tell me I'm not allowed to. I wear, if it's a wedding, if it's a funeral, I got married in Converse, brand new Converse. When I go to a wedding now and I'm in a nice suit or whatever, I'll buy a new pair if I don't have a dress pair of Cons ready to go, but I'll do it for funerals, I'll do it for whatever. That's what I wear, that's what I like, that's the style I enjoy. And I remember one time putting on another pair of shoes after the fact of wearing them, putting on, and like they felt like I was wearing clown shoes because Converse are so molded to your feet because they're just canvas and rubber. You put these things on, they felt huge. Like, oh my God, I could never ever stop. I could never go back that way and do something differently.
I'm the same way with Vans. I've been buying Vans since I was a kid. There was a brief period, I think in the 90s, where I dropped out of the Van phenomenon, but then I came back strong in the early 2000s. And I think oddly enough, it was, when you start kind of going back through the era of, or the ages and try to figure out why you have these things, I think I remember going to the Van store in Riverside, California for the first time and looking at a wall of colorful shoes, and one of them was checkered. And I was like, they'll let you wear checkered shoes? Like, that's a thing you can do? Like, I didn't know you could do that. That's like, but like when you're a kid, you're like, I just like this, but like a checkered shoe blows your fucking mind.
Oh yeah,
right?
Shoes come home, or you go there and your parents pick them, and that's what they are.
Right, that's what it was. My mom used to like, when we were kids, they would go to the cheapest place possible because when you're a kid, you're growing, so you're growing out of the shoes in 6 months anyway. You're not gonna like. Chances are you're growing out before, or I had my hand-me-downs for my brother. But Vans were always the one thing we got to go, and because you wear through them so fast, because you only have one pair, you got to do them every 3 or 4 months. You'd be back to the Vans store, be like, so I got to take a chance on that. I'll get the gray checkered this time, and then on that one I'm gonna get the lime checkered, and then I'll get a slip-on also because I love slip-ons because they remind me of ninja shoes.
Of course,
naturally. So I've been a pretty big I love Vans. I think I'll probably always have a pair of Vans somewhere. And recently I've bought the exact same pair of Vans. I shit you not, like 9 times.
Oh no! I mean,
It's like
well,
my
come
ninth
on.
pair.
I just walk in and I say, yeah, black Converse
Blue
high
plastic,
top,
yeah.
and I need them 11s. And they're like, you want to try mine? I'm like, no, trust me, I know, I'm fine with this one. But it's the same thing of like the origin of that is that going to get my first pair of lace-up shoes at Gishi's Shoes down in Glen Ellen, Illinois, and going in there and seeing a red high-top Converse. Like, and I remember, if now, of course, Converse are everywhere and they're trendy or whatever you want to call them. But like, forever in every movie, at least one character is wearing Converse high tops. You know what I mean? If they're gym shoes, and so it was always kids wearing them in Monster Squad or whatever, or Tom Hanks and the Man with One Red Shoe, and all these different things. Like there's so many instances of that was such an iconic thing growing up that I knew I wanted that.
Yeah, I mean you're talking about a classic too. Like those shoes have been around for a long time. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, obviously I have a pretty big allegiance to Apple. No real reason behind that other than
Make good stuff.
No, they do make stuff that I find is
you go to hell.
I've had
It's really pricey.
I've had projects that I've edited on PCs and Mac, and like I've had problems with both. So I'm not going to sit here and say like one platform has been historically better for me than the other. I think really with that it just boils down to aesthetics. Like when you open up a Mac laptop and you look at that and you handle it, there's a level of artistry that goes into that I just really, really appreciate, and it actually inspires me every time I open up my machine to create better art. Whatever I'm doing, if I'm writing, if I'm designing something, and I'm looking at this beautiful thing that's probably what I don't think anyone could argue is probably the height of industrial design.
Go ahead and argue it, you piece of garbage.
It's okay.
I'll give you design for sure.
Design for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're overpriced. They're underpowered. You can't argue those. You just physically can't. I just spec'd one out the other day for shits and giggles. That was like $4,700 for a laptop.
Lord.
A
garbage laptop.
Yeah, it's not great, but and unfortunately they've destroyed the design aesthetic that I've loved so much for so long. I think my generation MacBook Pro is probably the best that
It
they've
will
ever
go
done.
down in history.
It's gorgeous.
RIP.
It's got Thunderbolts, USBs, everything you
HDMI.
possibly need. The HDMI, a Retina display, an amazing touchpad that doesn't have the 18-button touch thing in it. Like it's just a normal touchpad, so it still works perfectly. But those are the things that are like that to me is a pleasure to use. I look forward to using that, and when I have to work those long hours, that extra little bit of inspiration that I look at this thing and think, how many hours went into designing this? And like this thing is like they've put these things in like the MoMA, like these are in museums because they're just heralded as these fucking amazing pieces of art that are also tools, So I really respect that. And you contrast that to a lot of PC design, and they've never hit the mark. So regardless of what's happening inside the machine, I look at PCs or laptops or PC towers, and I just think, oh, that's just not my aesthetic. That's not my way of thinking. That's not my simple, clean design aesthetic.
They'll be getting closer in the last couple of years.
I can't think of one. I mean, again, granted, I'm not going out. I'm not going to the Windows store every day, looking at surfaces, looking at these things. Like, I think that's cool. I'm sure that there are. I don't want to get into a Mac versus PC debate. I'm just saying that this is why
why
love,
you gravitate and
I pull it out. It's a beautiful design. The logo itself means something, right? That bite out of the apple means something, right?
means something, Tim.
It does.
You wouldn't understand anything about that. You piece of
So,
garbage. Richard, what brands are you loyal to?
Well, with the brand loyalty thing, it's more of a security thing for me. So like, it's like kind of like a security blanket. So the only thing I could really think of is there's this like Chinese restaurant that I always go to. I don't even bloody know the name of the place.
It's the Chinese restaurant.
It's the Chinese restaurant. And I know objectively it's not the best Chinese food in the city.
For sure.
But it's what I grew up on. So it's kind of like, it brings back the memory. So it's essentially, brand loyalty for me is just things that get linked to past events that make you feel better about yourself. Sure. Also, to go along with the shoe thing, for a long period of time, I only wore Adidas. Just because when I was growing up, you had like Nike, Adidas, and then like a couple of skate brands. And Adidas was the only one where you didn't feel kind of bad for not being into a certain sport or activity for wearing. So like if you wore...
I did though. I used to wear like their soccer shoes, and once in a while I'm like, I can't play soccer.
Really?
Oh, with the weird flop down tongue thing?
Yeah. I used to love those.
Oh, the cleats.
The Sambas.
No, they weren't
Oh.
Sambas. That's what they were. I
Oh,
think.
gotcha. Yeah.
But then because all my friends played soccer. They played club soccer growing up, and they all had them, and they had the Adidas jackets. Remember those? When those things hit? And I was like, oh, I want one of those so bad. And then I started wearing it, and I immediately felt like a poser. I'm like, I don't play soccer.
Yeah, you feel really weird. Like, I felt the same way the first time I tried on a pair of Nikes, and then all my friends play basketball, and it's just like, I don't do this, guys. Like, it feels really odd. And they were just like, oh, you want to come play? I'm like, I really don't. Don't invite me. I just like them because they look nice.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm with you.
but it's just one of those things where it's one of those things where I just find things that go back to my childhood
Sure.
and I just kind of stick with it. Like, you know?
No, totally. I mean, you bring up the Chinese food. The other one. There's two other ones for me. DC Comics, which is obvious, but then Portillo's, right? Portillo's is the brand I'm incredibly loyal to, and that's the thing of. It's always interesting when I talk about this, you know, this is home to me. This is, you know, Portillo's hot dogs. This is Chicago. And then kids will hit me up like that are usually new to the show or me or whatever and be like, well, what about Gene and Jude's or what about Wiener Circle or what? And I'm like, no, you're missing the point here. I'm not saying that I love Chicago hot dogs. I'm saying that I love Portillo's. Like that is a place and a thing to me that, yeah, when I go home, you know, to Chicago for 3 or 4 days, I'm eating there 4 or 5 times. And it's the thing of like, people are like, well, there's this new restaurant that just opened here and there's this. Or I'm like, no, we're not going to. Al's beef is better. Great. Big fucking deal. I don't give a shit. I'm going to Portillo's.
It's the same thing every time I start talking about Taco Bell, right? It was like, how could you like Taco Bell? I'm like, you're missing the point. I'm not saying Taco Bell is the best food on the planet.
Right.
I love Taco Bell because back in the day, my aunt and uncle used to work at a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like it was the only Taco Bell in Riverside, and we knew the owner of the franchise. And he hired my aunt and uncle. So we used to go there, we get hooked up. It was like all these happy memories linked.
Yeah.
That was the place we'd go when my mom was like, I don't feel like cooking. Where do you guys want to go? And I was like, oh, Taco Bell.
Sure.
No fucking brainer, right? And even though the Taco Bell is gone from my neighborhood, it's
Rest in peace.
never far from my brain.
I mean,
Never
that's the
far
thing with
from my mind.
Portillo's, right? Is like, yeah, for me, Portillo's is my parents waking me up when the original Portillo's on North Avenue. I shouldn't say the original, but the original Portillo's on North Avenue was on fire. You know what I mean? And then it's half days where grandma would pick me up from school and we would go to Portillo's and she would get the filet of fish or whatever, the fish sandwich they serve there. Jesus.
I'm brand
I don't know,
loyal
old people
to
love
a
those flavors.
million things. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's my life. It's kind of my brand is brand loyalty.
Ooh.
Coca-Cola obviously
Sure.
is a big one.
Match.
Obviously Nintendo, PlayStation also. Like when it comes to the PlayStation versus Xbox thing, for sure.
Crash.
The color blue, if that was a brand, I think that's definitely in there. But I feel like I'm also just averse to a lot of things. Jordans for shoes.
You love
definitely. That is like
But like
what I
Nikes
do.
or just Jordans?
Jordans. Like it's always Jordans. I've always only bought Jordans. Dunks are the only exception, but Dunks and Jordan 1s are very
What
similar.
do you come down on Air?
On what?
Nike Airs.
Just like Air Maxes and stuff. They're cool, but like they're not really my.
What about the shoes you pumped up?
Pumps?
Reeboks?
The
Yeah,
Reebok
the pumps. You pumped them up.
No.
Remember the pumps?
That was
mean,
the
they're-
jam. They still make
They're
those.
cool. Not my brand. So
What about those ones that lit up?
LA Gear?
Yeah.
Big fan of those.
What about the
but
wheelies? The Heelys?
Heelys? Oh man, fucking Heelys were legit.
How many
You have
times
no
did
loyalty
you
to
watch
shoes.
Kevin just completely eat shit wearing those Heelys?
None.
Never?
Never.
Never saw it, but it happened a lot.
Yeah, no, Heelys were fucking legit, but that was back in the fucking day. I'm talking
That was
about
like at least 5 years ago.
Yeah, at least 5 years ago. But I think there's a lot of things that I'm like the opposite of brand loyalty that I just fucking hate, like Pepsi or
Yeah.
Arrowhead. I get really
Why
angry.
Arrowhead?
Arrowhead water fucking sucks.
Wow.
Like it's the fucking worst.
It's water.
It's the absolute. It's not.
I'm
it
not-
tastes
I'm
bad.
not-
Here's
it
what it is.
tastes bad compared
There's
to other
Fiji water, and then there's just everything else.
See,
Smart
Fiji
water's
water kind of
clearly
sucks
better
too.
brand.
No,
I don't
you're
like
fucking
Fiji.
crazy.
Fiji sucks.
You're
Smart
dumb.
water is the better brand.
You've
Smart
drank-
water's awesome.
You've
Smart
had
water
too
is
much.
Dasani.
You've had too much Coke. It's ruined. you.
Dasani.
Yeah, dude.
Dasani especially
No,
sucks.
No,
no,
man.
no. Dasani makes a little noise when you open it. You know something's fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
Dasani is great. But
Ooh, it's me, Kevin. I'm haunting the studio.
Halloween's over, Kevin.
It's been a long day. You know it's been like especially a long day when this happens. Because I walked in fresh and I'm like, oh, y'all motherfuckers are burned out right now.
Marvel is another one, and Marvel and Windows I think are really good examples to me where I'm definitely like I'm loyal to them. I love them, and I have a weird sense of if someone were to be like Apple's better or DC's better, I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
like-
exactly.
And I feel like that is what the things that I'm brand loyal to is because I get this like instant fight mechanic, even though it's like I'm fine. Like Apple products to an extent, I really do like. But Mac OS, fuck that shit. Why do I feel that way? It's not that much worse than Windows. It is worse. But then with like Marvel or DC, it's the same thing where I'm just like, how can you say that DC characters are better than Marvel. You're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Great, you got 3. I'll give you 3. But besides that, Marvel has all these characters. I'm just like, why do I care so much? It's like, I love DC.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like,
That's the other thing too, right? Where it is that thing of like where I'm always like, well, I'm jokingly fuck Marvel most of the time. You know what I mean? And then I'll sit there and be like, I can't wait for Spider-Man. Can't wait for this. You know? I'm so
yeah,
excited about
so
this.
it's like, I think there's
fucking
a-
Logan looks great. You know what I mean?
a lot of there's then to Colin, like to really get to your thing about like the more obscure shit. I feel like I'd really have to think about all the things, but like all the shit in my life, I feel like, and it ever changes where over time, like with headphones, I feel like I've always been loyal to Sony. They've made great headphones, and I've been great in certain extents when it comes to earbuds and stuff. But then Audio-Technica kind of kills it now, so I'm like, that shifted. Things kind of change over time. But I do resort to defaults for a lot of things. And I think that's where the brand loyalty comes in when it's like shampoo or American Crew hair products, which is fantastic. Or Uber. I'm loyal to Uber.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck Lyft.
Yep.
I've never used Lyft. I don't know why I'm so upset
Exactly,
at
no,
them,
the same way.
but fuck them.
Last night I was trying to order dinner and I was going to use Postmates and I was like, all right, Uber Eats stuff. I always do that. I'll just try it. And I was like, it felt so wrong. And then they fucked me over. I'm like, well, this just proved my point. Like, fuck this, Postmates for life. Even though Postmates kind of sucks. They charge way too
Postmates
much.
kind of sucks too.
And let's be honest, Uber kind of sucks too a little bit sometimes.
Fuck you. No, it does not.
all
Uber,
the time.
Uber,
Everything sucks all the
Well,
time.
here's why I don't like this. I mean, I'm again it's the same. I'm gonna sit here and bash Uber, but I'm clearly Uber over Lyft. I've never taken a Lyft. I couldn't even imagine downloading the app. Right, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Except I think we did it one time. We were forced to do it one time in Austin because Uber's
No,
not
remember,
there.
it's not. It's like some other
some
knockoff.
weird
They have a bunch of
that
weird
fucking
ones.
totally sucked. And we didn't
Sidecar.
end
They
up
went out of
working.
business.
But yeah, with Uber, I'm like, God, man, every time I drive, there's always a fucking Uber driver getting in my way, not parked poorly, double parked. They don't know where the fuck they're going. I've got all these complaints against them, and yet still, I will not try Lyft.
Dude, it's
I won't do it.
Uber was one of my examples. Is an amazing service.
But they're also
a really,
like-
really amazing
They're
service.
innovators, though. They started that, so
Yeah.
it's like I understand why you would be.
Man, when they go public, I'm all over that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Shut up, tax man. Zakia.
So
I don't know.
Everyone remembers Zakia, the wee little man. We did this. It was an.
God damn it.
You remember, a wee little man was he, remember?
Yeah,
he
yeah,
climbed
he
way
was.
up in a sycamore tree for Jesus Christ to see. We remember the song.
We remember the song.
yeah,
yes.
unfortunately, we remember it.
Yes.
The one example I'm surprised you didn't use and that I've been loyal to since they started in 2008 is Virgin America. I flew Virgin America literally the first week on like that they were ever out, and it was the worst experience I ever had on an airline in my entire life. It was terrible. And for some reason, it was so cheap because they were getting off the ground that I just kept sticking with it. And before I knew it, I was just to the point where I literally, you know, Aaron's always like, well, why don't you go on Expedia or something? And I'm like, no, like I literally don't.
No.
I'm like, I literally don't even care how much anyone else is charging. Like
We're all like that,
I
right?
fly
Yeah.
Virgin America. That's what I fly. I have my points. I got my television. I got my nice atmosphere. You know, like
I flew to London on United.
Oh, United fucking sucks.
And that plane was so fucking old. It had, I shit you not, it was one of those where it was just a TV that was embedded in the wall. And you
Oh,
had to,
I
like,
hate
you had to
that
just watch
shit.
whatever the fuck was on.
Dude,
And I'm like-
United is the worst. They're like
although granted, they have the cool thing where you can like log on to their app and watch your shit through your smartphone. So
they
not too much shit. Like
United is a great example of an airline that's way too big. That has like they clearly have logistics problems up the ass, and that airline like it's a sight to behold how bad they can fuck everything up all the time.
Yep.
Like I don't understand how that airline hasn't just gone out of business. Like they
Big
just
fail.
They just fuck everything.
Filthycasual.com.
They just fuck everything up. It's funny because Alexa, our friend Alexa, tweeted out a couple weeks ago about how she had a terrible United experience, and I'm like, and I tweeted back at her, I'm like, I try not to say these kinds of things with United there, but I'm like, United fucking sucks. You know, and they tweeted at me being like, well, we're sorry you feel this way. What can we do? And I didn't answer them, but I'm like, I'm not even a customer of yours. You can't do anything. You've had a million chances. I've been on your Japanese flights. I've been on your European flights. I've been on your domestic flights. You fucking suck. You know, so that's the anti-brand loyalty where I'm like, never, unless I absolutely have to. We flew United to Anaheim, didn't we?
Yeah,
And
I think so.
that gate was a fucking sight to behold, and you know that was their fault too because of all sorts of fucking shit that was going on there.
that was horrible.
That was
yeah.
like one of the worst things I'd ever seen in my life. So,
That was bad.
but on the more minute, because I wanted to get into more of the minute stuff. Like I was thinking about, like I said, Wishbone, the orange Dial soap is super nostalgic. Like, so smell is the thing most closely associated with old memories.
Sure.
The smell of that soap reminds me of childhood, and I just buy it whenever I can. Like, I just love it. Just reminds me of being young. I don't know why.
Crest toothpaste is one
Yeah,
for
Crest
me too.
Crest Pro Health.
Fuck your
Yeah,
Colgate.
fuck Colgate. Get the
Fuck
hell
this
outta here.
Aquafresh bullshit.
Oh my god, the funniest thing was when we had that conversation about toothpaste. I went home and I was like, "Babe, did you know that fucking no one likes Aquafresh?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "No, it's like the number 19th best sold I'm like, we're using this fucked up like toothpaste.
Do you ban and ship, or are you loyal to Aquafresh?
Fuck, I had to stay because like that to me is I don't like the taste of most toothpastes. I had a bad experience with Crest one time because they had this like super minty Crest that they did where it was like uber mint and the mint stays in your mouth like all day. And I'm like,
I called it a nuke because it was. I bought a bottle of it by mistake and I started using it, and sure enough, I'd be like lunchtime and I'm like, I still can't taste anything.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. It was like the first and last time I used the condom with that numbing agent into it. Never doing that.
Never
shit
again.
Condoms though, Trojans. I always gotta go Trojans. Weirdly, I was thinking. My mind went to candy, right? Because there's always like the either or
Mounds.
candy. No, well, Mounds are good. I don't care one way or the other. Almond Joys, I'll take them. I'll take either of them.
Filthy casual.
Where it comes down to, where I really am divided though, is the great Twizzler Red Vine debate.
There's no divide.
Now here's why.
Red vines are death.
I love Red Vines. I like the taste of Twizzlers more, but I will always, for some reason, always buy the Red Vines. I will never buy Twizzlers.
Twizzlers are fucking disgusting. Like, honestly, I think
like strawberry.
Twizzlers are lower than Pepsi on my fucking hate
Oh, shots
Twizzlers.
Those are words you can't take back,
list.
Tim.
No, man, Twizzlers fucking suck. They're like you're eating red rubber.
Yeah.
Like Red Vines are legit. Red Vines are awesome. They're sweet. They have a taste to them. They're fantastic.
And
Twizzlers are like this fucking nasty joke.
We can't. I don't know how it is anymore. But I was unaware of Red Vines really till I came out here for IGN because Twizzlers are the East Coast / Midwest thing, and it was that Poe would eat Twizzlers at the movies or whatever, and it was enough to turn me. I was like, I'm never gonna buy these. This is no good. This isn't a good candy. This serves no Whoppers. But then you come out to California, and they got the Red Vines, and that was You were old enough. You're old enough, obviously, to remember this. But at IGN, I used to have that giant Red Vines tub on my desk that I would pop off.
I love that tub. I love that
For
tub.
a long time I had one.
I have it because there was the thing, like, again, going back to happy memories, my wife was talking about how, because she used to be in TV and film when she was young, and she would say every time she'd go on set, they'd have the big tub of Red Vines. And that I picked up on that. I'm like, that is a great happy memory. So now every time I do a shoot that's big, that needs craft service, I have someone get that big fucking tub of Red Vines. And no matter what, it's always like, it always makes people happy. They'll look over at it and be like, oh. And they'll take a Red Vine and they'll go and they'll do what they got to do on the shoot. And it works out.
Big Kev Dog, order up a big tub of Red Vines. This office needs a big tub of Red Vines.
I'm confused.
need a big tub of
You
Red
opened
Vines,
this saying Red Vines are death?
Red Vines or death. I'm saying I'm
I thought you said
brand
our death as well. I
loyal
was a little
Okay.
to Red. Well, we were all.
Thank
yeah.
God.
No, it's
I
cool.
was upset.
No,
I
it's
was
cool.
real upset.
Praise be to Red Vines.
Let me give a
is
few
good.
closing shout outs real quick. Best Foods if you're on the West Coast. Hellman's if you're on the East Coast. Same company. If you buy any other mayonnaise, you're out of your fucking mind.
What do you
That's number
What
one.
about ketchup? Is it Heinz or
Ketchup
bust?
is Heinz or bust. Now, I've met a few people that like Del Monte ketchup, and so I've tried Del Monte ketchup a few times, and it's not bad. I understand why they like it. It's not as sweet as Heinz, but Heinz ketchup really is the
just tomato
gold
paste,
standard. Heinz is the gold standard.
Yeah, that's what ketchup
now,
is.
let me ask
Yeah,
you this.
it's
I
though.
feel like it's kind of just went past any of the labels and stuff. That is ketchup. Anything else is variations.
Land O'Lakes for butter. Specifically, I don't buy it anymore because I don't eat a lot of like bagels or like English muffins these days. Like actually for years, but I used to go through Land O'Lakes whipped butter like it was going out of fucking style.
Are you aware that you like every product that's the most popular in the genre and
Oh,
probably
yeah.
had the biggest marketing budgets in the 80s and 90s?
So on the East, I don't know about here, but on the East Coast, we had a brand of butter. I don't think you can even have it here called Breakstones, which it comes in blue like tubs and blue boxes. That was more popular than Land O'Lakes.
Craft.
I never buy the whipped butter anymore. We just buy butter sticks that I cook with that. I never spread stuff on bread.
Whipped butter is so good.
But when growing up, my parents loved
Squeeze
it,
butter.
and I loved the commercials, and we were super into it. Country Crock.
Oh yeah,
Country Crock
We
whipped
used to call it
butter.
country crotch
That's
in my
that big
household.
brown thing
Yeah,
that
and like the
thing that came
commercials
in.
were all just the hands talking
Oh
around
my
the
God,
butter or
I
whatever.
hated
and
that
not,
shit.
Not like this, Tim. They were human hands, and they were having a conversation up here, but the
butter
framing was just the hands.
I
was butter's
fucking hate that shit. I can't believe you even brought that up.
I mean,
at
with
this
all due
particular
respect,
table.
I bet in a butter taste test, I would have no idea
Oh,
what
yes,
one
you
what
would.
is one is the other.
Oh my God, Greg, yes you would. That shit doesn't taste like anything like
So we
butter.
have to do, mark this down, Kevin, a water taste test and a butter taste test during the same episode.
All right, so speaking of water,
the taste test episode.
speaking of water, Poland. I have a huge
Short-ass
loyalty to
topics.
Poland Spring, but we can't get that out here. Arrowhead is like the ubiquitous water out here, but in the East Coast, Poland Spring is the ubiquitous water from Maine, and it's really, really fucking great water. That's what I like when I see something like a Poland Spring bottle in like a show or something. I'm like, oh, you're on the East Coast. So those things, and then like I only broke recently. For many years, I was all about Irish Spring.
Oh, I was going to ask about the soap.
Irish Spring, I use Head and Shoulders because I like the combined.
Maximize your time.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about
Shampoo
this
and conditioner in one.
Also, like my head gets itchy. I don't get really flaky. I guess I would if I let it go long enough, but it gets itchy, and that's the only one that really helps. So I'm a Head and Shoulders guy through and through. We talked about the Crest toothpaste. Obviously, I'm there.
What does it do for your shoulders, though? That's my question.
Keeps the
It
dandruff
keeps the
off
dandruff off the shoulders. Apparently, is the whole idea.
So it's not so much as doing something for your shoulders.
Head and
It
head.
never
It should
was
be
gonna do
called
anything
it should
for
be called
your
head.
shoulders.
It should be called head.
Hey, give me some head.
So, but also, I'm surprised what you had brought up, Richard. But when I'm home on the island, like I have a pizza place, I have a Chinese food place, I have a Hero place, and I'm not talking about people get confused. I'm talking about Hero sandwiches, HERO, and all these kinds of things. A bagel place. Incredibly diehard loyal to these places, even though I'm not in that ecosystem anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are better examples of literally all four of those things. I have a hard time believing that there's better pizza than Ragtime, but but like I'm not there anymore. But like I'll go home and people will be like, "Oh, let's go to Tony's for pizza." But I'm like,
Fuck
why
that.
the fuck would we go to Tony's?
I'm on a clock here, sir. I'm
Dude,
not
no,
here forever.
That's how it happens, though. I mean, for me and Kevin, like we're still in the same place, so we still have that loyalty to whatever places
Señores.
we go. Señores and like for me, Gordos, burritos and stuff. But it goes even further than that, where we have like loyalty to specific ones. Where it's like Target. There's the two Targets next to each other. Fuck Ceremony Target. It's Colma Target or fucking bust.
Colma Target's awesome because it's I feel like it's a mystery to a lot of people. Like the one at Serramonte is just obscene. Like because everyone's there.
It's
Everyone's
also
going there.
weirdly laid out, and it feels like a prison. If I'm thinking the right one.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrible.
I think.
Yeah, we used to go there. We used to go there and walk around there every day at lunch.
Don't even get me started on Tanforan Target.
But Target in general, I'm a huge fan of. I'll spend time in Targets when I don't even need anything at a Target.
no, that's true.
I'll give
Best
it a
Buy.
Target.
Best
Buys.
motherfucking buy.
Best Buys are sad now, by the way.
No, they're not. They're
so
awesome.
sad.
They're fantastic. Before we move on with this topic, I need to say this or else I'm going to be really upset at myself. Lego over fucking Mega Blocks. If you like Mega Blocks,
course.
No
don't-
one likes
I
Mega
know.
Blocks.
There's got to be a mega. I'm telling you, there's probably a Mega Block aficionado out there.
You can leave. I don't want you here. I don't want your money. I don't want your views. I don't want your attention. I don't want anything. I don't want anything to do with you.
You aren't
You're
playing Mega
nasty.
Bloks, Star Wars.
You're
Lego's
fucking
ubiquitous,
nasty.
though.
And not a good nasty. A bad nasty. Fuck you.
Shasta McNasty.
Kevin switching up the shot every 5 seconds there.
He wants to give as many seizures as possible. God forbid he stays in the wide.
I thought Nick was gonna say.
I was going to say something, but Tim was on a good fucking line
Tim,
there.
but
so
that's
I
the
just wrote
problem.
it.
Nick is always going to say something. If you give him the one shot, the topic continues.
I thought he was gonna say something good. Also, Logitech MX brand mouses are the best.
Yeah, a lot of the Logitech
Thank you,
peripherals. Yeah, they do. They really do.
PSP like case.
That was fantastic. Best PSP case.
Undestructible. Mm-hmm. The Kevin Koala
Unable to be destructive.
Please remember that. Please remember that. We'll put out a book one day.